Hello once again, this is James and welcome to my training videos. Today we are going to look at data entry and editing in Microsoft Word. Typical data entry or typical typing. In this method of data entry, what you type is what appears on the screen. A typical WYSIWYG, or what you see is what you get principle applies here. A keystroke will display that character on the screen. Just like if we try it out, if I press, let's borrow this keyboard. If I press A, you will notice that A will appear. If we try to zoom it in, if you press B, you will get a B on your keyboard. If I press N, I'll get my N. So this is what you call typical typing. What you press is what you get, or what you see is what you get on the keyboard. That method of typing is the typical typing system. We also have in our typing, you notice that when I entered these characters, they were all small letters, or what we call lowercase. Inside this we have what we call uppercase and lowercase letters. Uppercase letters are the capital letters and lowercase letters are the small letters. To turn on or to activate the capital letters on our keyboard, we're supposed to press the caps lock key. And once this is pressed, you press it again and it will turn off or deactivates the capital letters. Let us try to see how this works. So you notice that, like in the default or in the first setting, I used the capitals. I use the small letters, or what we call lowercase. Now, if I turn on my caps lock, notice what happens here. It will light up, meaning now they are locked in. If I type the same thing, you notice that now they appear in capital letters. If I press it again, notice what happens to this. The light goes off, and when I type, then the letters will appear in small case or in lowercase letters. So basically, that is what happens in typical typing. If we move on, there are a few things we need to share or to know when we are working with our Microsoft Word. They're saying a look at the keyboard shows some buttons having some two characters, one at the bottom and one on the top. To access the characters on the top, you press the shift key plus that button. For example, if you press the shift plus the stroke or the solid dash, you get a question mark. When shift is placed with the letter, for example, shift plus A, when the caps lock is off, you will get a capital A. And if the caps lock is on, you get a small a. The shift button looks like this. This is what you will see. Sometimes it's put with an arrow pointing upwards, a white arrow pointing upwards. That still means shift. So let us try to see how this works. So if I have this, I'm going to get my keyboard again for illustrational purposes, because you might not be seeing mine. So this is all, these are our shift keys. Hope you are seeing them. Any standard keyboard has two of them. So notice that my caps lock is not on. So if I type A, I'll get a lowercase a or a small a. When I hold shift, notice that it's going to light up. Then I press A, it will give me an uppercase A or a capital A. Now when you look at some buttons here, if I could zoom in, to our keyboard here, when you look at it, some buttons here have two, like this comma has a less than sign, a full stop, a greater than sign. The stroke or the solid dash has a question mark, just like what we used in the example, among others. So if we come back here and we press shift, then we press before you press shift, let us do it without shift. If I press this, I will get a comma, but if I press shift plus that comma of mine, let's press shift, notice that it's activated, then plus the comma, I will get my less than sign. Let's try the actual example in our exercise. When we press shift plus the stroke, and we get ourselves a question mark, but when you press typically, you get a stroke. Press typically, you get a full stop. Shift plus the full stop, you get a greater than sign. Shift plus the colon, you get, shift plus the semicolon, you get a full colon. When you just press, you get a semicolon. Shift plus the apostrophe, you get double quotes. Without pressing the apostrophe, you get a single quote. So basically that is how the shift button works. So it's quite handy when you're working with your application to know a few things like that. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next video when we start looking at data editing and formatting.